What is going on, guys? Today I've got for you the new Football Manager 2018 Dynamics features video. This is episode 1, so it looks like they're going to be uploading this in a series over maybe the next week or so. I don't really know. We're going to find out. But yeah, I'm going to take a look at this video. I'll maybe pause it in parts to give you my thoughts on it. The new features they show with the dynamics. It's going to be pretty in-depth this year, it looks like, that they're going to have a series of episodes talking about it. So let's get into it.
Welcome to FMTV. My name is Joe
FMTV.
Thomas, and today
that sounds familiar.
About Dynamics. Dynamics is a new module for Football Manager that correlates your management of the dressing room with your team's performance on the pitch. In short, a harmonious dressing room will play more fluently, while a more fractured team will be less fluid come match day. When you start your career in Football Manager 2018, you're presented with an introductory email explaining the current squad dynamic situation at your club, along with a brief overview of the different elements that make up the Dynamics module. These are then supplemented by monthly Dynamics updates as you progress through your career. You'll also notice that there is a new dedicated Dynamics section integrated into the sidebar. Click on this at any point to view an in-depth breakdown of the dynamics.
Okay, I just want to pause it here. We'll take a look at the main dynamic screen here, the overview. You can see match cohesion. The team's collective mental attributes are slightly disappointing at the moment. And then it says this will slightly impact player positioning during matches. So my initial reaction to that is I really like that it has an explanation of what it will affect. It won't just say what is disappointing and what is good like these other ones here, and what it actually impacts. I really do like that. Not just, yeah, as I said, not something they're just saying that's bad and you don't know what it's actually going to affect. It's good to see that.
Dynamics within your squad. You can also see the most influential players in the squad, as well as any issues that may currently affect your playing staff. At the top of the overview screen, you can see the 3 main areas you need to keep on top of: match cohesion, dressing room atmosphere, and managerial support. Let's start with match cohesion. Match cohesion relates to the understanding between the players on the pitch. A good level of understanding can mean that your squad benefits from an improvement in their collective mental attributes rating. For example, your midfielders may see an improvement in their vision attribute, meaning they're able to pull off more defense-splitting passes as a result. Working on team cohesion in training and also improving individual players' mental attributes helps to develop that understanding. The dressing room atmosphere reflects the mood in the camp, with the larger and more influential social groups having the greatest effect. This atmosphere can affect...
So I did want to pause it here as well, as I saw some of these features from the screenshots they released. I did make a video about that as well. I'll have it in the description in case it doesn't show everything in this video. All the screenshots talked about a bit in depth. But anyway, it says there's a strong sense of unity between the players and they should have no cause for complaint about the way things are going. So let's see what that covers. They currently have no unhappy players at the club, so that's very good. We currently have 35 players at the club, including 25 in the first team, who are considered to be very happy. So, yeah, things are looking very good with the atmosphere, as it says there. We have many players who share a nationality, which is very important. They get along well because of that. Most of the players have been at the club for a similar length of time, so you can see everything about their squad. It's fitting really well, and that does impact in Football Manager. Okay, I'll continue now because that guy's face looks a bit weird. Let's go.
Players' morale to different degrees depending which social group they are in. It's also important to bear in mind whilst making new signings, as the right player and the right atmosphere will make integrating them into the squad a whole lot easier. Factors such as your influence over the squad, team talks, promises, the length of time you spent at the club and results on the pitch determine the amount of managerial support you receive from your players. This can have an effect on how likely groups of players are to side against you, but more on that shortly. Let's move on and take a look at the hierarchy screen. This shows a pyramid view of the players ranked by their influence in the
Again, this is something I did talk about in the features video that I made myself from the screenshots that were released, but this is something I really, really like. I like the hierarchy. You got the team leaders, 2 of the key guys, most experienced players in the team, essentially. Highly influential players. I found it interesting that there's only one in Tom Cleverley there. Then you got a lot of influential. I wouldn't say Cleverley is completely outstanding. I'd say he's maybe a bit more experienced because obviously he came from Manchester United, but yeah, and then there's just other players. And yeah, I remember I said I'd hate to be known as other, but there's some decent players there as well.
Dressing room. At the top, you have your team leaders, usually players who have been at the club for a number of years or who have good leadership skills, the kind of players who might make the best captains. It's most important to keep team leaders happy as they can turn the dressing room in your favour if one of the squad speaks out against you. However, if you upset a team leader, it could turn the rest of the players against you.
Oh, drama.
Highly influential
There's drama.
players who might have 1 or 2 of the skills needed to be a team leader, but don't quite have the influence to join that elite group. Following these are the influential players who could become team leaders in the future. Finally, there are the other players who will be influenced by those above them. On the right-hand side of the screen, you can see feedback from your assistant manager about the current positives and negatives within the team's hierarchy, allowing you to adjust your scouting plans accordingly. You can click on any of the players inside the pyramid and see their squad status, personality, happiness, as well as a breakdown of why they're in the position they're in within that hierarchy.
Okay, I like that there. As the guy said there, you click on it, and then you click on a player, and it has all their information. Team leader, Troy Deeney. Troy's status within the squad is well established and isn't likely to change anytime soon. He's got long-standing squad member. As I said, that's probably a reason why they're there. A good reputation, high ability, and captain. All those 4 things together, yeah, you'll be a key candidate to be a team leader without a doubt.
Hierarchy. With team leaders in particular, you can ask them for advice on improving the dressing room atmosphere, as well as asking them to let you know of any issues within the squad. You'll notice as well that you can see what social group each player fits into. So let's take a look at the social group screen to explore this in a bit more detail. Social groups greatly expand on the relationship systems from
And again, we'll get into this one here, the social groups. I have, again, once more with these features, I have explained them. I'll leave that link in the description. But essentially, there's a better look at it on this anyway. But yeah, as I said, there's different social groups. He's probably going to explain it more, but yeah, this is what I think about it in a way. I really do like it. You got certain social groups. The B, that's the one I really pointed out myself. The group is made up of players who are of a similar age, so around the same age, and are mostly Greek. I wonder why they say mostly Greek. It's either Greek, like they're Greek, or they're not. That's what I found, like maybe like Zarate, so yeah, I don't really know, but yeah, I found that interesting. I really, really like it, though. Then you're going to have groups of players. It could be a good thing and a positive if they don't get along with the others, but they get along well together. So at least they get on. If they get on decently with others, it'll be okay. Just, yeah, interesting to see how it'll be implemented, though. Let's see.
Previous football managers. This now makes the bonds that are formed between players more important for you to consider when dealing with your squad. The core social group is the largest and most influential in the dressing room. There are lots of factors taken into account to decide which groups players end up in, and that could include players who have been at the club for a relatively long period of time, who have similar levels of professionalism, speak similar languages, players who are similar ages, and more besides. You may have 1 or 2 secondary social groups too. Players who don't fit into a social group are in the others category. These might be players who have joined recently and are establishing themselves in the squad, or just don't gel with their teammates. If they meet the criteria, they may join the group after a short period of time, but players can also drift out of social groups as the squad's makeup evolves. Social groups alter the way you deal with players' requests, as upsetting one member of a social group can turn the rest of that group against you.
Oh, yeah, that's pretty realistic as well. They try and make a bit of drama, like real friendships, I suppose, and like real life situations in football teams as well. If you kind of mess up, if you do something wrong that the other group of players don't agree with, they could potentially turn on you. So it's adding a bit more of that like realness to it.
Especially if they're very influential. It's worth checking the social group a player is in, as well as your overall managerial support rating before deciding what response to take to a player coming to you for more first-team football or a new contract. Finally, on the dynamics section, we have the happiness screen. This gives you a player-by-player breakdown of their happiness.
Okay, let's see the happy... I like this. There's reasons why they're feeling a certain way. I've always wanted something like this, or maybe I didn't even know. Like, yeah, I didn't really realize this is something that could have been in the game, but it's like, that makes sense. That makes sense to show the different reasons why a player is happy. Obviously, there used to be the explanation. If they just sign a new contract, they'll be happy, or they're reacting to whatever. If they're disappointed, if they're mad, if you're not selling them and they want to move, that kind of thing. But you can see there's training, treatment, club, management, playing time. So yeah, you can fit it all together there. It's going to be the happiness, the morale, a bit more in depth, which is very good because it's something very important.
Happiness with the various different elements of their life at the club. Players are grouped into their hierarchy rankings, so you're able to see at a glance what areas you may need to tweak in order to improve the squad's overall happiness. Dynamics has been integrated into the home section and player profile too. On the overview drop down on the player profile, there's now a dedicated dynamics screen. This shows details of their opinion of you, their hierarchy.
Okay, let's pause it here because there's just a lot of information here before it moves on. So I just want to give my thoughts of that. So again, there's those information there. Has the favorite personnel. So that's not something completely new. That's always been in the game. Favored personnel, but it's all in this area. The overview of the player. The relationship, contact, part of course, it shows the social group they're part of, and then the player information. So a lot of this has kind of been in the game already. It's just all under this screen, under the overview of the player. So
and social group information, as well as elements of the information screen from previous years. The home section now includes a relationships page that lists your relationships with some of your fellow managers and, for the first time in the series, certain players too. As you can see, Dynamics is a wide-ranging and three-dimensional system that will really change the way you approach your squad handling and man management. It can influence which players you scout and sign as you look to build a dressing room that can work together effectively both on and off the pitch in the long term. Get it right, and it could be the key to turning title outsiders into league champions. Thanks so much for watching. Keep an eye out for more episodes of FMTV, and for more information on Football Manager 2018, visit footballmanager.com.
So there we go, guys. I will pause it there. So found it very interesting. A lot of information with the dynamics. Again, I want to see a lot more, but I really think it will be, like you were saying, it is going to add a bit more depth into Football Manager, the way you go about managing your squad and everything like that. Can't wait to see more episodes of FMTV. I rate that name, thumbs up for that. But yeah, guys, if you enjoyed this video, make sure you go over to the Football Manager channel as well. Go subscribe to them, because if you don't want to listen to me all the time, make sure you go subscribe to their channel if you're not yet, if you just came across this video. But if you're wanting to see more Football Manager videos, I'm going to be uploading more when they release them. I'll give my reactions and thoughts on them. But obviously, when the game is released, I'm going to be doing my series. You can check out my channel, all the series I've done since 2012. 5 years now of Football Manager content. So yeah, hopefully you will enjoy them if you're new, and if you're an old subscriber, if you're a current subscriber, you know what I'm all about, making a lot of videos. So yeah, like I said, for 5 years now, since 2012. So you want to see more of that, make sure you stay tuned, and I'll see you guys next time.